and Stephen. I'm so interested in hearing both of your perspectives, particularly as we're talking about this idea of the country needing to unite, folks talking about civility. How do you both see this attempted assassination playing in to these conversations for unity? Nolan, I'm going to start with you.
I think it'll have a short-term impact. I think there will be a, a genuine effort to stay off the extremes in terms of language and the word choices and what have you. We know Trump rewrote his Thursday night speech to bring a softer tone, a less attack dog tone, if you will. I don't know if it lasts. I think it'll be easier for Republicans to maintain a more civil tone because they have Democrats doing their work for them in tearing down Joe Biden. For Democrats, I mean, their singular strategy has been to scare the heck out of voters about Donald Trump. And I don't know how you do that with nice talk. I think, they're going to go back as soon as they can to being very aggressive in their attacks on Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, look, it's one thing to be critical of someone's ideology and their policies, someone who poses an existential threat to democracy, which Donald Trump has proven that he does over and over again, including on January 6th of 2021. I think people have an obligation to point that out. People have an obligation to stand up and talk about that. History will remember the people who were silent during this and who embraced Trump for the tax policies that he had for the rich, as opposed to calling out all of the things that he tried to destroy about this country. That's not about civility. The incivility was what happened when he incited an attack on the institution that certifies our elections. A lot of what we're seeing is about the response to Trump himself. He's the person who has raised the temperature in a way that we have not seen another politician raise the temperature. Think of all the armed people who show up at his rallies. Think of the things that he asked them to do, beating up people in the crowd, saying that they've got to take out the other side. No question that you have Democrats who are using inappropriate language, but from an action and a policy standpoint, this isn't even-handed. This is one side that has essentially lost its mind in favor of a candidate who does not respect democracy. That's what's at stake in this election, and Democrats would be crazy to back away from that.
So Zoe, I guess the answer is no.
Right. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and it does seem short-lived, even though it feels like there's been, again, a lot of calls for this. Nolan, you wrote a column this week about the U.S. Senator from Ohio who just on Monday was named Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate. Tell us a little bit about J.D. Vance and your perspective.
Well, I'm not a big fan of J.D. Vance on a personal level. I thought his book was slanderous and largely a fabrication. But he's going to be judged on his politics now. And I do believe he may help the ticket if that was the purpose, if that's the purpose of picking a vice president. He may help the ticket in Rust Belt states. He's been a strong voice for manufacturing and blue collar jobs. Don't know that I can confidently say that he's ready to be president should something happen to a 78-year-old Trump. Of course, I don't think Kamala Harris is ready to be president either. And I do wish these candidates would put more, particularly given their age, would have put more emphasis on the ability of their running mates to step in. I would have rather seen someone like Nikki Haley on that ticket. I think it's a mistake not to put a woman on the ticket. He could have gone with Nancy Mace from North Carolina or any other number of female Republicans, but he didn't. Vance seems to just be a younger version of himself, and he's already got those voters.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an odd pick for a number of reasons, but the chief one that they will face in the fall is that this is not just a conservative candidate who toes the line on abortion. I mean, this is someone who pushes up against the kind of diminution of women's agency and independence and liberty in the way that he attacks abortion. I mean, this is someone who says that if a woman is raped by a family member and becomes pregnant, that the baby has an equal right to live to that woman's choice about her reproductive freedom. There is such a small sliver of women voters who believe that kind of thing. And who's going to decide this election? It's female voters, and it's female voters who are independents, right? They aren't Democrats. They don't identify as Republicans. They have to be won over by one of these candidates. That's why the polls are showing what they're showing in this kind of very tight race with a lot of numbers not on the board yet. I think J.D. Vance cost the Republicans some of those votes in the fall. There's no question. You can see ads really soon starting to run about the absolute caveman kind of positions that this guy has taken on this stuff. And that's not, I mean, Midwest or anywhere else, that is not going to help them in the fall.
Nolan, in about 30 seconds, I think Michigan voters need to be ready for the influx of candidates that we have seen and are going to see now that this VP candidate has been chosen. Any preparation that we should be making?
Well, they're going to be here a lot, and we should get used to that. As long as Michigan stays tight, and it is right now the tightest of the battleground states, I think they're going to be coming in here. Both parties need Michigan. I think Michigan is the path to the White House in the election. A lot of the other battleground states are trending a lot heavier for Trump than Michigan is. I think it's probably deadlocked in Michigan right now. So, the candidates and their surrogates are going to be spending a lot of time here.
Watch One Detroit, Thursday at 7:30 p.m.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.